Are you ready to blow your mind? In just 8 seconds, I'm gonna tell you about something that can change your life forever. And it's completely free. So in the first 2 seconds, we have this text overlay that says, "What is ChatGPT?" And it zooms in slowly. And then after 2 seconds, we have these 3 points that fly across the screen very quickly. The first one is writes essays with an animation of a pen or pencil and then an emoji. The second one is makes money with an animation of a dollar bill and then an emoji. And then the third one is answers anything with an emoji of a robot or an A. So after 8 seconds, we have this big glowing text that says, "This is ChatGPT." And then we have an animation of a laptop coming up from underneath it. Here's how we made that. First, we started with a blank 16:9 composition. Then we added that background gradient. Next, we created a solid color fill on top of the gradient. And then we created a mask on that fill layer. And we put the zoom animation on that mask. Then we used the pen tool to create a shape around the text. We duplicated that layer like a mad lad. And then we gave each one of them their own individual animation with different colors. We did the same thing for the dollar bill and the little robot head. Next, we added a white circle behind the text and gave it a radial gradient, going from transparent to white in the middle. Then we added a box shadow to the text, so it looks like an S floating on top of the composition. Next, we went into the effects panel, and we added both the posterized time and turbulent displays. We tweaked the settings until we got something that looked good to us. Then we added a few more layers to make some dust particles, and we animated those to move across the screen. Next, we pulled in our laptop footage and we put it underneath everything else. We also added some motion blur to that laptop. Now at this point, we had to animate the text coming up from underneath the laptop. To do that, we created a null object and we parented all of the text layers to that null. Then we moved the nut up and down to create the animation. For the robot face, we created an expression that would map the progress of the composition to the rotation of the layer. Then we added some subtle blinking animations to the eyes. Next, we imported our ChatGPT logo and we made it a little bit bigger. Then we put it on top of the composition and we added a drop shadow effect. Finally, we added some color grading to make everything look nice and polished. And that's it. If you like this video, you'll love that one right there. So go check it out. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.